When you look at the response now from Israel, there's this siege on Gaza, no food, no water, no electricity. It is a diabolical situation, isn't it, Colin, when there are dozens of hostages still within the grip of Hamas. So that ability for the Israeli government to weigh that up, how hard to go in to try and preserve the lives of the hostages, it is a terrible dilemma.
It's a terrible conundrum that they're faced with. And what people need to understand, like the Senator, and what all Australians should understand here, is we're dealing with an organisation, Hamas, which is a prescribed terrorist organisation in Australia. Anyone showing sympathy and support for that organisation has questions to answer. That organisation has demonstrated what's been in its charter and has been its intention all along through its creation since it captured power in 2007, and that is the destruction of Israel and the killing of Jews. They're not interested in a state alongside Israel. They clearly want to destroy Israel. And so anyone showing any sympathy and support for that organisation, needs to have another look at themselves. So we're in a situation now where these events are a watershed. They're a game changer. It's no longer a question of Israel trying to contain Hamas. They have to dislodge them. And you correctly point out there's a terrible conundrum. Hamas is threatening to execute hostages one by one as we speak. And probably they're doing that already. Up to 1,000 people have been killed. This is a shocking state of affairs, but there's consensus in Israel, and I think amongst people who understand the situation, that Hamas has to be dislodged, and their backers in Iran have to be undermined. And this is something, by the way, that the broader Arab world fully understands. And we're talking about actually liberating the poor persecuted Palestinians in Gaza under the thumb of this despotic, tyrannical regime as well. We're looking to liberate them. Yes, unfortunately, there are going to be casualties because the Hamas game plan is to hide behind human shields. We know that. Israel has made every effort over the years to limit civilian casualties. But in this situation now, it's Hamas that is the hiding behind civilian shields, as they always have. And the casualties, which unfortunately, undoubtedly will occur, are fully on their shoulders. It's their responsibility, which I think all objective observers would understand.
We discussed this earlier in the week, but the parallels with 50 years ago and the Yom Kippur War are there with the surprise attack. The thing that shocked me, and I think many observers, was the fact that this military is one of the most advanced in the world. You've got the Iron Dome defence over Israel as well. Just shocking that the intelligence failure here has been so grave, Colin.
No question about that, and those responsible will be called to account in due course. And one has to say that the planning of this operation took considerable assets and skills, and no doubt the Iranians were heavily involved in this. The possibility of neutralising Israeli intelligence, eavesdropping, communication, in the first instance, may be at play here, almost certainly at play in effectively undermining Israeli intelligence, which can help explain the relative tardiness in the response of the security services to this warlike invasion. It was a war. Yes, heads in the long run will roll, but right now Israel is united. It's wounded, but it's united in its determination to put an end to this shocking state of affairs. It's a massive shock on the Israeli psyche. The casualties that are inflicted, you made the comparison with the Yom Kippur War. No doubt those armies got through on the Golan Heights and Sinai. At that time, Israel's existence was definitely on the line. But in terms of the experience of the average Israelis in the hometowns and the villages across the country, this time around is a true 9/11. In many ways, it's much worse. Everybody knows somebody. The devastation is overwhelming. The depravity of the slaughtering and the butchery that we've seen in place is clear for everyone to understand. There's no future with Hamas on the scene going forward. No future from the Israeli point of view, and there should be no future from the Palestinian and Arab world point of view as well. And the Arab world fully understands the role of Iran in all of this. So watch out as we go forward. It will take a while for all this to come together, for people to understand what's really at stake here. But the stakes are very high, and the need to completely degrade Hamas and their nefarious, brutal agenda is paramount. And there will be costs along the way, but hopefully, even though it's premature to say this, there may be a brighter future for all in the region going forward.
Colin Rubenstein from AJAC, thanks for your time. We'll talk to you soon.